Podcast starts now. What's up, everyone around the globe? The vibes are already electric. It's Friday. It's sunny as fuck.
It's Friday in Los Angeles, and I'm living out loud.
I want to say I'm feeling so electric. George is in town still, and it is so nice.
You know what we never did, speaking of Los Angeles, is the game that I invented, Heimlich. Never caught on, which is where you say three things and then you have to decide which one's the Danielle Heim, which one is the Esti Heim, and which one is the Alana Heim.
Well, I think we're not dead yet, and I think we can play it today.
Yeah, and I also... I know that you thought of the name Heimlich, and I like it, but I'm like, what
thought of this?
Yeah, you thought of it. What if it's Heim pick because you're picking one to be each of the sisters?
I mean, not to be. We were talking about Hollywood Handbook. I think you're a bit Hollywood Handbook pill, and you're really zeroing in on some puns in a way that.
Oh, that's true. I'm being very well. I do want to make it public that I am officially Hollywood Handbook pill.
Me too.
When we went into Hollywood, which if you're listening to this, maybe that hasn't come out. We did Hollywood Handbook. I went and I said, first of all, this is a competition, and second of all, I'm winning.
I said, just let them win. I said, these straight guys are bigger than me. They're better than me. Let them have their fun.
When we were like sparring, like when Hayes was like clearly being sort of like in a funny way mad at me, I was like, you think I'm going to back down? You have it all wrong, my friend.
You're so good at conflict. I normally in a normal
I am good at conflict.
In a normal episode, I would say let's intro.
Yeah,
but
no,
we have such an amazing guest who, I'll say it, has been knocking on our door for roughly 100 years.
We don't know who she is.
She's this woman who has been.
I think she works in entertainment technically,
that's
but
what everyone keeps telling me.
I've never really known. I think she maybe is a cinematographer or something. I don't really know much about her.
It's giving grip.
Yes, she is the biggest. She is the biggest grip bitch in town. Please, wow! And I just want to say, I know we're edging you by not actually saying her name. The fact that Sam is the one who wants to cut the intro short is huge.
I never
usually
do that.
I'm the one that wants to cut the intro short, and Sam, you know, as conflict averse as he can be, is like, no, we're doing the intro.
That's true.
So please welcome
Grip
D'Arcy
bitch.
Carden. What's D'Arcy? Is it?
Yeah, that's
D'Arcy Carden.
I really thought I was like, yeah, that's right. D'Arcy Carden, the biggest grip bitch in Hollywood.
Bitch in
Bitch in Hollywood.
Now, right off the bat, I want to say, for a grip, your hair looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You
And
did just, it literally was just done. Is that,
no.
am I wrong?
No, I mean,
It just
like, by
comes
me.
like this?
Yeah, like,
You don't mean like from a salon?
I do.
I do.
Oh no,
You did this
I'm
yourself?
so good at my hair.
Oh.
Really?
Yes, but I've been, and feel free to sound off in the comments because
No, of
I know they're
course.
thinking.
Don't
it.
let them.
I feel like my hair is, you know when you this, I think this is a classic thing that people do as they get older. This was like good hair 10 years ago, and now I'm like, is this even the style anymore? I know it's not.
Well, here's what
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly
Yes,
what you
where
mean.
you're like, oh, this looks good, great, I did it again, and then I walk out the
I know
door and I'm like,
exactly what you mean.
to me, please do not take this as a negative
won't.
because it is a positive.
Okay.
Julio has a bit about how all the women in Marvel movies have beach waves
Yes.
to soften the blow of the fact that they're spreading American imperialism. But again, I don't mean that as an insult.
Right.
It's like, yeah, that's
It
why they're
looks
beautiful.
good. Right,
as
right.
are
Yeah.
you.
oh, you're so sweet. Well, I do. I like love a. I love a. This is like what I feel like works for my head.
Yeah.
But
What are you gonna do, have, like, an
especially-
undercut?
Or
Well,
like
here, I mean-
greasy. Like there's just
D'Arcy,
better. There's cooler.
pigtails?
I think it's time for the octopus cut.
Yes.
What's the octopus cut?
You know what Gaga has, what Miley has, what Patty has.
Yes.
Oh, that.
know it.
I've never heard of it as
The bangs,
The bang
then
that
the
are
other
soft.
bangs,
Yeah.
then longer.
The bangs.
Oh, you know, our
then
friend, yeah.
The chops.
The chops.
The straight chops.
The straight chops.
And
And then
then-
the long.
Yeah.
Peyton Dix just cut her hair like that.
Really?
And I was like,
Oh yeah, it looks good.
I was like, you look like a celebrity.
yeah, it
like,
is
it's
very
crazy.
celeb.
It's very celeb because it's hard.
Yeah. It. Speaking of Haim, I remember Esti did it a couple years ago. I mean,
Yes.
people have been doing it.
People
but
have been
all of a
doing
sudden,
it.
like at the Grammys especially,
Everyone
it was like,
had
so
it.
everybody has
If it's the Grammys, you got to do it.
If it's the Grammys and you're not
Whether you're
octopusing
Esti
your hair,
Haim or Selena Gomez, as Zoe Saldana says, it is, you have to do it.
You
What is it called again? Octopus?
The octopus
you have
cut.
to
I cannot believe I
octopus your
didn't know.
hair. I know.
You have to
I didn't know that either.
Oh,
Wow.
Well,
They
now
should-
you're sitting here thinking, is
Oh.
it called?
Did you make that up?
I did not
Here's
make
a
it up.
question.
Yes.
What about it is octopus?
It's tentacles.
Barely, George.
Barely. That is not
You
how I would
guys,
describe
that's
it.
tentacles.
That's tentacles.
When I look at that head, I see an octopus sitting on a head
Okay.
because it's tentacles.
I see like a stare. Ooh, it should be called the stare.
To me,
Stairway.
it's helmet.
Helmet. It's
I
so,
think,
Helmet.
yeah, it's helmet head.
It's Playmobil.
Helmet Head has the bowl cut though.
Yeah.
Helmet.
Username
what?
Helmet bangs.
Helmet bangs.
Helmet bangs.
Wait, okay, so do you have to have bangs? You don't. It could be.
Yeah, I don't think
these
you
could
have
be
to
your
have
thi-
bangs.
It could be bangs, and then second layer. It should be called like the
Three-layer.
strep.
The 3-strap. Go on.
It should be
Go
called
on.
3 strep throat, and just make it make sense for you.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Now that we're naming things, recently I found out a close friend of ours.
I can't wait to hear off camera.
I want to know who it is.
I
Can you
will
say
tell
their
you.
name right now?
Yeah.
can
I'll
bleep
say
it
we-
later.
Bleep it. I love a bleep.
Dash Turner, a close
Okay.
friend of ours,
Keep it
revealed to me. A close friend of ours, who, by the way, is like. I consider him very successful. He's written on some great shows. He's a sort of bi-coastal diva.
Yeah. Oof.
Very bravely bicoastal.
He literally revealed to me just out of nowhere that this entire time he has held a sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time job at the New York Times as a naming specialist, where he literally like names games or like does work with their podcast team.
Cool.
And I'm like, that
Names
is
things.
so. This, don't you think that is the most rom-com / Sex and the City boyfriend job?
Yes, totally.
It's like, so he names.
Yeah.
It's like being a cartoon editor at the New Yorker.
Yes,
well, it's
totally.
also like being like a chocolatier.
Yes.
Like it's like a
so
He's being
fanciful.
he's
job.
Juliette Binoche in Chocolat.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. It's also like the rom-com girl would say it, and
Yes.
then nobody would really question it.
Totally. But it's also like he's a naming specialist, but he doesn't want to put a label on things.
Hey,
Oh my
hot
God.
calling kettle something.
I mean, even like I would, and then when you do finally marry, like the sequel, when
Yeah.
you're married to the naming specialist,
Yeah.
and it's like really tense because like they can't think of the name for this thing, and they're like locked in their room, and you're taking care of the children, and you're like, well, he's in there naming. Meanwhile, I have to fucking bring the kid to school, and obviously it's not as good as the first one, but it's kind of real.
It's
and
And
whether
of
you can
course, when he
expect.
finally does think of the name, it's inspired by the woman's name or like by the
Yeah.
woman. It's
So it
like
all kind
D'Arcy Productions.
It's like,
He's literally like, D'Arcy.
Darcy.
and then she's kind of like, yeah, it's all
Also-
worth it.
It's all worth
been worth it. I married a good one. I can't wait to hear this is bumping back a minute, but I cannot wait to hear your Hollywood handbook.
Oh my God.
I cannot wait.
It's funny. No, go ahead.
Well,
Sorry.
I don't feel like my performance was amazing.
But it's hard.
I have to say,
it's hard to be amazing on that show. It's so disorienting.
It's so disorienting.
Yeah.
And I was also like, I think they're so funny, and I was sort of like trying to figure
I
out, like,
know.
I was like, do I be combative? Do I be
know.
agreeing?
It's
do
really,
I?
it's- One of my favorite things listening to that podcast is when you can tell the person is like, what are we doing here? What do you want from this? Like,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I asked my friend who's a religious listener, and she was like, you have to be yourself and not try to do them at them.
Right, I think so,
you
too.
seem like a loser if
Right.
you try to like do exactly what they're doing, because they're going to be better at it.
and
than
then
you.
they'll like cut you off at the knees, and you'll be so
Yeah.
embarrassed. It's humiliating
And,
when they get you.
and I also want to say about my performance,
Aw.
and even I want to.
He was
Of course,
you guys,
Come
I
on,
need to
you're
ta-
like their third brother.
I need to
with
talk
this-
about my performance.
Okay.
okay.
And this is actually something that I've been thinking about because
This is actors on actors, but for our
Yes.
performance
Podcasting, for
on
podcasting.
Hollywood Handbook,
Yes.
and you're the moderator,
Great. Tell
and
me.
you haven't seen it
No,
or
but
heard it.
I get it though. I know it.
So we also recorded here 2 days ago.
Yes, that's
So
right.
we've been doing a lot of podcasting.
Okay.
And normally, as you know, when we do our podcast, we sit around a desk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm actually realizing that we're sitting on sort of a set, both here and at Hollywood Handbook. And I'm feeling like when Gaga and A Star Is Born went into the studio and they like couldn't find it. Like she
Yeah.
was like, it doesn't sound the same. It doesn't
Right.
sound the same. And then Bradley Cooper's like, get a piano in here.
Totally.
And then she's
Piano
like,
is
that's
desk for you.
piano is
Yes.
desk.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
a comfort, or it's just like it's what you know.
It's what I know.
I know. I was telling them as I came in that I was wearing kind of dumb socks, but had the thought it doesn't matter because we're going to be sitting behind a
Behind a
goddamn
desk.
table. Lo and behold,
No, it's a new.
And don't get me
No.
wrong, this is much better,
No, it's
but
better.
I'm
Right,
finding my
right.
performance more confused.
gotcha.
Okay, so for anyone not watching, it's like
yeah.
usually we're around
We're
a
in
table,
conversation.
and
We're
now
all in
we are
conversation.
couch and armchair.
Yes.
So I have a theory about this.
Go.
Please.
You know how like the definition of uncanny valley is like just close enough to the real thing, but slightly farther in
Yeah.
a way that makes it almost worse.
Yes.
So I think the fact that a set like this is almost living room, but not
Right.
quite living room, makes it more confusing than if you're just around a completely artificial desk
Right.
in a conference room.
Right. I think you're right.
And so I'm like, I'm like, should I sort of like kick off my shoes and
Right.
take my phone out,
No,
like as
absolutely
I
not.
would in the living
I know.
room?
I'm like hiding my water. Like, yeah.
I'm even,
you have one of those Tradwife cups.
wow. How long have you been sporting this?
So long that it's not even it's not
Oh,
even,
it doesn't sit straight.
It's not even level. I've been sporting this. So is this Tradwife?
Well, I don't know. Someone said that to me once,
Like,
and I
or is
sort
it
of.
the one with the big handle?
Well, the Stanley's more
Stanley.
Tradwife, but
This is
this
like-
is close.
Well, the built-in straw freaks me out.
Why?
Well, mold, of course.
Oh shit! I never thought about that. Just kidding. I watch it all the time.
But also, sorry, like you should be able to angle a
away.
straw to get the last of the liquid.
You kind of can. I can
You
get
can?
every last drop of this. Are you
Oh.
kidding me? Listen, corner.
Oh,
Wait,
you can.
listeners,
Oh, you're right. You're
corner, Corner.
Wow.
Damn.
What I found.
Got my ass.
I did.
See, that's an understanding of the medium.
Yeah. What I found years ago,
Yeah.
I've been on this for a while, is the straw helps me drink so much more water.
Really?
I hate this.
You hate tilting.
I hate tilting. I don't know what's up with my neck or throat or mouth, but I hurt myself drinking a lot.
Really?
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I think
How
sometimes-
bad?
Not so bad. Like just kind of like if I'm well, for one, I don't know. You only have the mouth you have, so I don't know what
course.
another.
Of course.
And the
You
neck you have, especially.
Thank you, and the throat you have,
And the throat.
Needless to say.
and so I don't know what it's like for other people, but I think I have a hard time doing big swallows.
This is great. I really like this because it's very celebrity to have a super specific
No,
and
I
kind of
fully
non-believable, like
Ailment.
injury-prone
Yes,
And can you
ailment.
imagine like the moment you're an actress on set and you like tilt back and you go,
Yes, and this is the weird thing. It's not even like I'm pulling my neck. It's like inside my swallowing mechanism.
Yeah.
interesting.
It's like if I'm like listening, if I'm tilting this way and I drink, I'm like, oh, my poor little esophagus. What swallows?
Sure, I think
Yeah.
esophagus.
Anyway, what I found is if I'm just sitting here looking at you, glug, 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 I can drink
Wow.
all fucking day.
That's
but
amazing.
this, something happens. Something, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
Also, okay, here's the other thing. This, it can be a constant swallow. This is one gulp. One gulp.
That's very true. That's very
Okay,
true.
thank you.
Yeah.
But you can hold it up
I
for a
can
long
this is
that,
actually-
but
no.
I can't. That's what I'm saying.
This
I'm
is
not
also
good at that.
why,
I'll spill.
Wow, this is why when I get an iced coffee, I finish it in like 2 seconds. When I get a drip coffee,
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had a straw.
Do you?
oh, you don't have a
Yeah.
straw.
I don't have a straw.
With an ice, yeah, I guess I always wish I had.
Sam
the
is
straw.
doing sippy cup iced coffee
Yeah,
right now. For
it's so
again,
cute.
for anyone just doing audio only.
Try it in
And
my
I've
car.
actually recently been going out of my way to get a straw for my coffees
Yeah.
because I hate when the ice touches my mouth.
Okay.
I go, ow!
That's your injury, you little
Yeah,
actress.
yeah.
Oh, ouchie. Yeah. Anyway, I used to be a on the set of The Good Place. My favorite two costume people, they called me Contigo Girl because I had a
Cunty go girl.
Contigo.
Contigo.
I guess
I thought Contigo
Contigo girl.
Contigo
Oh, here
Girl.
comes
Oh my
Contigo
God,
Girl.
That's great. But I guess I have a SLM, a slim or something now, but I used to have a Contigo.
Contigo.
Which is just a brand of.
I think that's what I have. But did yours have a straw? No.
It had a straw,
Oh, it
but
did.
also it was plastic, and then the whole thing.
Well, of course.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm drinking out of this thing every. I don't know. I don't understand microplastic, but I know it's happening,
I do not understand microplastics.
and I don't want to, but I know it's happening. So then I was like, you got to go metal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so now but I'm sure.
Cunty go girl's really getting me.
They called me
Contigo.
Cunty Go Girl.
They call me Cunty
And I'm not going to explain
on the set
it.
of The Good Place.
Yes. I made everybody call me Cunty Go Girl.
I will say at work, I have, they gave us all Stanley cups,
Yeah.
which is like, you forget because everyone has one. You're sipping out of your Stanley cup. But then sometimes a photo will leak from work and someone will be like, you have a Stanley cup?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, not in life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, by leak, do you mean someone posts a photo from the
No,
writer's room?
no,
Or do you mean there's paparazzi in the after midnight writer's
George,
room?
you
don't
have no
understand.
idea how much paparazzi is trying to figure out what little pun will be coming
How?
out tonight.
What
What and how? How do they write it? How do they do it? What are they doing back there?
George, you don't live in Hollywood.
If
It's
you
actually a
lived here,
really
you'd
intense
understand.
industry.
Yeah. Things are being leaked left and right.
You guys are doing Hollywood Handbook to me.
Yes.
Take back the
I'm
night.
trying to take back the night, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
because my performance was middling.
Oh my God! Enough of this performance.
No. That is a show where like the meanest I ever thought I was by accident got the best reaction.
Totally.
Does that make sense? Like I kind of said
totally.
something shitty that was like, God, they loved it.
Yeah.
I almost want to go back. I'm like, I want to redo. Like, I want to be mean this time.
We're gonna go.
You're
We'll
honey, you're
go
gonna go
back.
back.
They're gonna have us back.
Hey, hun.
We're the best guests they've ever had.
Yes, you're gonna go back. Trust me when I say you're gonna go back.
You guys, we got to go back.
In 1 year
And also,
from
we're
today.
gonna have them on, and we're gonna bully them until they cry.
Great. Oh, I would love to have them on. I would
Like
love
when
to
we
hear
had.
them on the show.
Well, so do you know How Long Gone?
Say it again.
How Long Gone?
No.
Cunty Go Girl?
Great.
It's Chris Black and Jason Stewart. It's a very popular sort of like
Yes, I know it.
Straight Guy Podcast.
straight guy podcast, scene-y. They'll have like, everyone from, Kurt Vonnegut to Esty Heim.
The ghost of Kurt
They both
Vonnegut.
have the octopus cut.
But they would.
It's a lot of octopus cuts walking through the door. A lot of octopus cuts.
If anyone could get the ghost of Kurt Vonnegut, it would be them.
Of course.
But we had them on, and we feel like they dommed us.
Oh.
But now we know them
your
better.
own show?
Yeah, but now we know them better,
Wow.
and I think we need to have them back on again and really dom them.
This is, I love how Inside the Actor Studio this is.
Okay.
Yes,
Because
inside the podcast.
when we
studio.
had them on, I had never listened to their podcast, which was,
But now you're obsessed.
and now I'm obsessed.
But that's kind of dommy of you to not have listened to their
Yeah,
podcast.
I know.
But still, you let them dom your ass.
I let them not.
We've started preparing. The truth is, we started preparing more.
We started preparing more.
We're about to have someone on the road a novel, and we both read the novel
Wow.
cover to
Well, I'm
cover.
not done yet.
Okay,
Oh,
but
you're
I
you
not
have
know.
100 pages left.
That's
You can
nothing.
do that
You can do that later today.
Yeah, or in 2 days. Are you reading it or are you listening to it?
I'm reading.
Yeah, and I read
This-
it too.
okay, this
Advanced copy, girl.
Girl,
Cunty,
Alma.
cunty, go, girl.
Cunty, go, girl.
I think this has probably been talked to death. But where do you guys stand on calling listening to audiobooks reading?
First of all, I want to say I love when the guest asks the question and prompts us. I count that as a form of doming, and I
dommed
celebrate
your
it.
ass.
Yeah, you
I
got us
dommed
big
your ass.
time.
I can't wait to keep domming your ass.
And I think I'm actually very torn on this. George, what do you
me
think?
too.
The thing is, I only do maybe like 2 audiobooks a year. I mostly read on paper, and I have no problem counting them. And they're usually like, it's usually sort of like middle brown nonfiction. I can't listen to a novel, and I definitely can't listen to like a complex, like nonfiction book that's like deep journalism.
Right.
So it's like I listen to the Tina Brown like Vanity Fair Diaries, for example, or like something that's sort of like self-help adjacent.
I love listening to a memoir.
Yes,
Oh,
a memoir.
that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
But yeah, I count it. I put it in my little notes app of
did-
like the books I've read.
So I do too. And I'm my sisters and my mom read so much more than I do. But I just Elon. I just Elon.
D'Arcy,
Oh my
please.
God. Oh my God.
Not now.
Oh no, not with everything going on.
But my sister recently said, I guess this is what it is. I think you should totally count them on your list. But do you say I was reading a
Oh
book?
no, you say I was listening.
Yeah, I think you say I was listening.
Yeah.
You can say I did consume that piece of media.
Yeah, exactly. I consumed that.
Now here's the
book.
other question: does listening to podcasts count as reading? I would say yes.
Well, of course,
Whoa.
more
The
so.
cute thing is that my mom always does is because I read so much less than my very, very reader siblings. My mom is always like, "But honey, you're always reading scripts." She's always giving me that.
That's
She's
true.
always
She's
giving me
not
that. It's
wrong.
really cute because I kind of play dumb in my fam.
Sure.
Well, you
Like-
got to play a role.
I gotta play something.
Everyone has their role.
Honey.
Places.
All the world's a
Last
stage,
looks.
mama.
We're doing last looks.
But I really appreciate that she gives that to me.
That is nice.
Yeah. She's
That
like,
is
you
nice.
can read, doll. And I
Yeah.
can.
You're like goo goo gaga.
Yeah, I'm a little goo goo gaga. I'm a little goo goo gaga.
Yeah.
You're a little cunty
Yeah,
go girl.
I'm a
Cunty
little
go
bit of a
goo goo gaga.
cunty go goo goo gaga.
Cunty goo goo gaga girl.
I'm ready to what's the word? Confess something embarrassing.
I
go.
can't wait.
Okay, when I was like 23 or 24, I was a dog walker, so I was listening to a lot of things. And I listened to the audiobook of The Rules of Power because felt like I was being overlooked in the open mic comedy scene.
Well, and guess what? It worked.
Did it-
Look at you
did-
now.
yeah, exactly. Did it-
Paparazzi are following you into your
Yes.
job, writing on a major late night
Things are
television
being
show.
leaked left and
Leaking
right.
my Stanley Cup.
So did you learn anything from it? For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I actually did find it like kind of helpful where I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there are, well, and it's like, I think about it a lot. I confuse the rules of power with the rules of fashion sometimes where which they're one and the same.
They're one and the same. I didn't want to say it.
But like the first like page is like of the rules of power. They're like, first of all, if you think you don't need to like you don't want to learn the rules of power, well, you already are playing them. You're just losing.
Oh,
and I was like,
now I gotta read
fuck.
it. Yeah, totally. I gotta read faster.
And I feel that way about clothes too, where people are like,
Oh, no, it's so
well, I
true.
don't want to look like anything. And it's
Yeah.
like,
No.
well, you already are.
Right.
You look
Yeah.
like something.
Holy shit! I need to read both of these. So bad.
The fashion thing is really so
Fashion
true.
thing is
It's
so
like,
hard.
because sometimes you're about to leave the house and you convince yourself, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Suddenly you find yourself, it's like you're alone in
Yeah.
this like giant, like empty world. And you're like, oh, so this is just what I think
Yeah.
I'm bringing to today.
Oh fuck! I need to read Rules of Fashion hard. I'm really in my sweatshirt,
Well, it's
bad fitting pants era.
It's very LA.
It's very LA. LA, it's like someone walks in to a professional setting and they're like in their pajamas with
Yes.
fluffy slippers, like
Bunny
slip-on
slippers.
bunny
Yes.
slippers, robe,
Yes.
hair in a net.
Yep.
And they're like, hi, so where can I put my pillow?
Totally.
But that is like in LA, that is a power. That's how you show power.
No, that's rule of power number one.
Yeah.
Okay, here's rule of power. I'm about to. Okay, my house did not burn down, but
Congrats.
thank you. But we are displaced,
Oh,
so
dang.
to speak, for a while. So displaced is such a weird word, but that's what we are. But that's what we are. So I'm accepting it. So I have I have like a suitcase full of clothes.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird thing where I'm like, this is this is all I got. Like for I don't know how long. I'm also I'm like, I'm not buying anything new.
Yeah.
Like I'm really living in this. These are the like 3 pairs of pants you brought and the 3 sweatshirts and t-shirts and my brain is like, this is fine because this is the situation you're in. But then I went to like a not fancy meeting yesterday, but I should look nice. And I had like no options. But I was like, but I'm displaced. And I'm like, they don't know
They
that.
don't know. Yeah.
I'm in a weird
This
like
is-
liminal thing. Yeah.
Context is so important.
Context is
Contigo.
so
Contigo
Contigo
is
girl.
so-
Contigo is so important.
Contigo girl is so important.
I actually sort of want to develop my theory about context creators a little more.
Go.
Okay, when did you talk about this again?
At our Sketchfest live
That's
show.
it, that's
and no
it.
one liked
No one-
it.
Okay, let's do it.
No, they did love it. They
Okay.
did love it.
We had a
But
context
actually-
diva in the audience.
Yes,
Okay,
I
okay.
think what happened
I wanna
was
know.
it was so smart.
It was very intense.
that it
was very
wasn't funny.
intense.
People
George,
were
you're
just
so
like
smart.
listening and taking notes,
George,
but I wasn't
George,
getting laughs.
You're so smart.
Oh, shut up, Contigo Diva.
Goo goo gaga. But I do love just kind of being goo goo gaga and listening to this podcast and like learning stuff.
Oh my god.
And then guess what? You're smart too, Sam.
Thank you. That's
you know,
nice
George
to
is
hear.
like the smart one.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah,
Thank
But
yeah.
Sam, guess what? You're really smart too.
That is not.
Thank
it
you.
is-
I really appreciate that.
You know that, right?
Of course.
Okay,
It's just different flavors.
I'm moving on from this.
Okay, sorry.
Back to context.
Okay, so my sort of like idea that I came up with on the spot is like, you know, we call them content creators,
Yeah.
people that are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, but actually they are context creators. They are not creating new content. They're just saying something about like a red carpet look that someone wore, but putting it into new context. So what we actually need is new content. The like creator economy is just keeping us stuck because all of it is about nostalgia and about like repackaging existing things
Something
and
we
putting
saw
them
yesterday.
into
Right.
yes, and putting them into new context. And
And actually, I think there's a new phrase that is speaking to this.
Okay.
You were familiar with, of course, like she reheated her nachos.
Yes, God.
yes, they are nacho creators. They're nacho reheaters.
I think people are really becoming wise to the way that everything is just being reused and recycled.
Yes.
Right.
In like in a way that's like almost toxic.
Right.
But it is like just a given that like when you put something out, you're not making new nachos, you're reheating someone's
100%.
nachos.
And I want to say one thing. It's like the context creator ethos started out good because it started out as being like, remember this rom-com from 2002? It was sexist because of XYZ reason. And now suddenly it's in a new context.
Right.
And it's a context that is helpful. It's being like, wow, look at all the unconscious biases we had then that we now see, whatever. But then it's taken to like such an extreme that it's like not everything is sort of like
We don't need to
a prompt for
Right.
you to theorize.
Right.
I mean, it's funny that we are the ones saying that, which is like kind of our whole thing.
delete.
But you know what I mean? I'm like, time to
Yeah.
create new things.
Well,
I
we're
actually,
nothing if
I've
not
heard enough.
hypocritical.
I no longer need new interpretations of Bridget Jones's Diary.
I know. I know. Wait, do you mean you don't need a new movie, or you don't?
No,
need
I need a new movie.
I do too. I do too. I'm like,
no, I didn't
actually need the movie in theaters.
I need the movie in theaters and
No,
not
I'm
on
I feel
streaming.
that so strongly. Yeah. I had a sad moment this morning when I saw that it was streaming on Peacock.
Yeah.
God love you, Peacock.
No, God love
nothing
no.
but love to
I was
Peacock.
like, there's a new Bridget Jones
good, I've heard.
movie that I've heard is good, starring fucking Renee Zellweger. Did I say her name weird?
No, that's not
Okay.
normal.
I mean, it didn't
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
When you said Renee Zellweger, I had this deep feeling that I know her. I like
friend.
felt that I
Yeah,
almost
my
I
friend
felt the need to
Renee.
speak up and be like, oh, Renee, like, and as though I had some connection, and I
Yeah,
wanted to be
well,
like, we were out for coffee the other day, and she said the funniest thing, and I don't know what it is. There's maybe a past that I have a past life.
Maybe a past life.
life you
Also,
knew
you've
her.
known her your whole entire life.
Yeah, maybe that's what
We've
it is.
known her our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
I just rewatched Down with Love, and maybe that was fresh in my mind, and so it was almost like I just had coffee with her.
I love that movie.
It is one of the best movies.
It was underrated.
Completely.
Nobody knows it.
That is a great movie that I'm glad people have put into new
yeah,
context
yeah.
as like a movie that was, sort of much better than it was given credit for and ahead of its
Yeah.
time and all this stuff.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I want to say Rachel Dratch.
Yes, Rachel
a
Dratch,
small-
Sarah Paulson. Oh my God.
No, it's okay. Renee
From
Zellweger.
Frasier. From Frasier.
Niles Crane.
Yes.
David.
Hyde Pierce.
Pierce.
I cannot believe I temporarily
okay.
forgot his. He's a gay, literal gay icon.
Icon for sure.
Sorry, I
never
cut you
seen
off.
this
Did you
movie,
though?
guys?
Yes,
Never
because you
seen
were
what? Oh yeah, that's okay.
you were about to say something about Renee Zellweger.
Only
Bridget
that.
Jones.
Only that it's not like it's not a prequel. It's not like starring CW talent or whatever. It's like with them. It's with them.
Yeah.
It's with them.
Hugh Grant's probably in it.
I think he is actually.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
and
should
it's
be in
not
a
in the
theater.
movie theater. Put a gun to my head.
No, kill
Pull
me.
the trigger. And don't miss.
Cunty gone, girl.
Cunty gone, girl. Okay.
Okay.
Damn, I'm literally.
okay.
We're
Call Hollywood
we're
Handbook.
FaceTiming
I
Hollywood
wanted to know
Handbook
that.
right now. Say Cunty gone, girl again. Watch this, Hayes.
Cunty gone,
Wait, can we
girl.
just like truly breeze through our first segment so we can go
Oh,
back to
yeah.
gabbing?
Okay, great. I love gabbing.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing
D'Arcy,
this. This
I'm
is-
literally on cloud nine. I might as well be on a mountain of cocaine.
I also want to say, to your incredible credit, you've been in Hollywood for, you know the biz, and we said, we can do Zoom any of these times, and you said no.
Sorry.
I'm gonna wait
I really
until
did
we're in
want to-
person.
yeah.
And I think it's 100% worth it, and I'm so glad you did.
Okay, good. I really do. I really, I think the proof is in the pud.
One.
Malma.
Yeah.
This is being in person is your Bradley Cooper bringing the piano.
Exactly.
Our first segment is called Straight Shooters, and in this segment, we ask you
Pew, pew.
a series of rapid fire questions. It's basically this thing or this other thing, and the only rule is you can't ask any follow up questions, or we'll scream.
I want to ask follow-up questions, but I won't.
You won't.
George, kick us off.
Elevated horror or Dora the Explorer?
Ooh.
Dora, the Explorer.
Teenage Dream or Wilhelm Scream?
Teenage Dream.
The Taming of the Shrew or Defaming Mr. Magoo?
Oh.
We have the truth.
Kendrick Lamar or That Bitch Jafar?
Kendrick Lamar.
Your Wish is My Command or He Went to Tish and Now He's in a Band?
He went to Tish and now he's in a band.
A Fleet of Welsh Corgis or The Feet of Florence Welch?
Oh, whoa. The feet of Florence Welch.
Wow.
This Girl is on Fire, That Boy is Mine, or These Boots are Made for Walking?
These boots are made for walking.
Okay, Plastic Straws or Laughs and Guffaws?
Laughs and guffaws.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh my.
I'll say
did
it.
you-
1,000 doves.
1,000 doves.
Okay, thank you for the doves. Did you give me 3 options?
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
That made my head spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, did you say Jafar and then you said your wish is my command?
I know, that was
And do
kind
you
of
guys-
crazy.
you don't-
Sometimes that does happen, though.
But you don't.
We don't collab.
No, we don't collab. But there have been, I would say, like 4 or 5 times when it's like eerily similar stuff.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Same brain.
We're
Yeah,
working
same
in
brain,
a similar
and
context.
brain.
similar yes,
Yeah.
very much so. Similar context,
Similar-
same brain. And I hate to say it, similar sort of like algorithmically suggested content that we're consuming.
Of course,
Sure,
of course,
yeah,
of course,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
That was great. Okay, so I got 1,000 doves.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, it was, you're a performer and there was so much nuance there. There was ups and downs, highs and lows. It was an amazing,
Yeah.
You know
amazing
what's
performance.
funny is like having heard this segment so many times, only recently did I realize you're not actually. I
it.
don't think you're actually trying to get the person to say one thing or the other.
No.
It really is.
It's like the segment is listen to us.
Yeah.
Right. The segment is
Well, it's the
funny
ultimate
rhymes.
doming thing.
Yeah.
It really is us microdosing Hollywood hand. Like
Right.
we're being like, isn't it funny that we thought of these two things that rhyme?
Yes.
And then it's like, now say something and we won't laugh.
Exactly. Exactly. I think I used to think it was like, which thing is straighter? And then I was like, no, it's which thing is gayer. And only recently was like, no, it's neither. It's neither.
In theory,
It's rhyme.
it is like, it's almost like a Rorschach test
Yes.
of like, what you're drawn to says something about your personality,
yeah.
and then all of that adds up to your score.
Yeah.
But it's also about the performance. Like, I enjoyed that when I gave you 3, you were like
My mind
temporarily
was blown.
taken aback, and then
I think I could have lost points for, honestly, on that one. I was so overwhelmed. I just went with the last thing I heard.
yeah.
And you know that.
Oh, you know what? 990 dubs.
I think that's fine.
That
I'm
was
gonna
so
give you
good,
back
student.
$10.
That was so good, student. Be like, you told me I got this right, but
But I actually think
I was a
if
little.
you
if
really-
you look at the work,
if you look at the work.
it wasn't. I got to the right answer, but I did it wrong.
I did. That reminds me of something I did when I was in, let's say, I think I was like 9. My older cousin played Too Short for me and my sister. Too Short, the rapper. Okay. My sister and I we grew up in the Bay Area. We listened to a lot of hip hop, but we knew that we weren't allowed to listen to Too Short. Okay. Because he was really nasty. He was
Sure.
Wow, that's
really
where
nasty.
the line was drawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were listening to Too Short in my cousin's bedroom, and my parents walked in, and he was saying like "fuck, pussy, hoe," whatever. Like he was saying horrible shit.
I love
right?
that song,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. I love that song too. And we like ran to turn it off, and my parents were like, they were mad. They were disappointed.
Yeah.
And later, later that day when we were talking about it, I was like, I'm really glad that you did that. We talked about it. We were really glad that you did that because it really taught us a lesson. My mom was like, fuck off. No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
She was like, loser.
Yeah, she was like, you don't have to do that. And it was such a like,
That is so wholesome.
isn't that so check your work?
yeah.
What is that? What is that? That's people pleaser. That's
We both have it.
We have that.
Some of that.
And
in our
I wonder. I've
personalities.
always wondered why. Like, I wonder if it's like, do I just have that, or did I
Yeah.
like watch the right
I
mixture
know.
of like kids' TV shows?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is that little moment where like the music changes and you're like, hey mom, can I talk to you for a second? It actually really, it was good that you did that. And even though it was hard, we learned a lesson. She was like, shut up.
When you were a kid, did you like often think like you're in a movie?
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like
In what sense?
like I would like look out the window,
Looking
moody.
out
Oh,
the
well,
window,
looking out the window, of
moody.
course
I
you're in a
think
movie,
when
yeah.
you say when you were a kid, you mean to this day,
yeah,
right?
no, I
Well, now I understand
Yeah.
it, and I can be like, oh, this feels cinematic
Yeah.
or something. But like as a kid, I was like, I wish someone was filming right now. Like this is a real emotion.
Yeah.
And I remember even like writing down once, like I took guitar lessons when I was like 8 or something, and I was like so nervous because whatever. So I wrote down like a piece of paper like, I'm scared to take guitar lessons, and like folded it up and put it somewhere. And then my mom found it and was like, wow, that was so sweet. And I'm like, I knew what
You
I
did
was
that on
doing.
purpose,
Like
yeah.
it wasn't like
you literally put it like on her desk.
Yes.
You're like,
you were
don't
doing
read that.
it. Yes, totally.
I was doing it like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
I think I definitely rain on window was obviously big when I was younger.
Huge.
Feeling
Huge.
emotions.
For whatever reason, the last few years, walking on the street is much bigger for me. And
Yeah.
maybe this is so LA versus New York
Yeah.
thing.
Well.
But walking on the street, and I would say
God.
it reached its peak during Charlie XCX, like Party Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you can't, if you listen to that song and you're walking,
stomping.
you're going to stomp.
Yeah.
Von Dutch specifically.
Von Dutch, sorry, that's
Yeah.
the one I was
Von
talking
Dutch,
about.
if you are walking
You're
at all,
stomping.
it's over for
Yeah.
all the ants in your
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
They're getting smushed.
And the uncles. Just kidding. I don't know.
yeah.
Is that
I also-
Hollywood Handbook?
Hollywood
Okay,
Handbook.
yeah.
I went through a phase where I would listen to that Selena Gomez song that's like "Good for You."
Okay.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, famously, like in a great
Uh-huh.
hacks scene, right? Where like, does that sound familiar? Where they're like,
yes.
like Poppy and Hannah.
I'm like, don't quiz me, don't quiz me.
I feel like there's a great moment in
Yeah.
hacks where they're blasting that in a
Good
sort of
for
like,
you. It's like one of the sexiest songs
Yeah.
ever produced.
maybe it's not that song.
And I was probably in my mid-20s, and I was living in Boston.
Uh-oh.
And I would come back from like a party or something and be like a little drunk, and I would literally put it on and basically like writhe around sexually
Nice.
on
By
my own
yourself?
and by myself. Like not even in a way where I was.
just kinda
it
like-
wasn't even like sex. I wasn't
You weren't
like
masturbating.
I wasn't masturbating. I was literally just like,
Yeah. You were just kind of feeling your body.
yeah. Oh wow, that my esophagus felt that.
Oh no.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah. Damn, I'm gonna have to only drink through a straw.
That's how
Okay.
it happens.
That was-
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Contigo girl getting red. Contigo girl. Anyway, I'm like backtracking on that.
Good
Max. It's
for
a
you.
different.
Good for you.
The one I love that song. I'm actually surprised. No shade to Selena. How many Selena songs I love.
So the thing is, she has amazing
valid.
music.
That's valid to
Yeah.
say.
She has amazing music. It's just, and you know what? I'll leave it at that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Beautiful music.
Selena-
Beautiful
beautiful
music.
music.
Beautiful recorded music, I will say.
Dresses. Yeah.
When it's recorded and then it's released,
Yes.
and then I press play on it,
I
it
love
sounds
that.
amazing.
Yes.
Sounds
Totally.
amazing.
Love
When it comes
her
to
on
my
the
ears,
When it comes to my ears, when I'm
the
pressing
state it's in,
play,
I'm loving it.
Play,
yes.
Yeah, great.
God, it's so difficult for me. So we can't go into this, but
He's watched Amelia Perez over 400 times.
I've watched
This
Amelia
is-
Perez twice.
Okay,
and one
same
of them
thing.
was in theaters.
Okay.
And so all I want to talk about is Amelia Perez, but I can't because it's like no longer relevant.
I
Like
know.
I don't actually have a hot take on it, but
You could.
for whatever reason, since I've been in LA, I keep bringing up because it's, you guys are, it's like the Oscars are happening and we're in LA.
So
So,
that
obviously I
means-
want to talk about Amelia Perez.
and the billboards are everywhere.
Billboards
Yeah.
are everywhere. We literally passed one the other day when we were driving, and Sam was like, "Oh, there's your girl." About
is-
Carla Sofia Gascon, who I think is an incredible actress, regardless of her
Sure.
very contemptible political opinions. I think she really absolutely slayed it and was cunty go girl in that entire film.
It's working.
So, but we can't get into
Okay,
it. Should we get into our
I think we
topic?
should do the topic.
Okay.
Okay, D'Arcy, what is your topic that you've brought today, and what is straight about it?
Okay. I've thought about this for so long. I feel like this is a hard question. It's getting harder every day.
That's true.
Does that make sense? What I mean?
Yes.
It's getting harder every day as the trad wives are doing poppers.
That's true. That's true.
know what I'm
Literally, the trad wives are doing poppers.
Yes. Kind of.
Yes.
Kind of.
So like it's getting harder to kind of separate what is straight and what is gay.
That's like one of the you know how there's this political realignment where the right and the left don't exist anymore? It's
Yeah.
more about sort of like, are you random or are you kind of like normal?
Yeah. Yeah.
That what you're describing, the sentence "the trad wives are doing poppers" is like a perfect encapsulation of how everything has been remixed.
Yes.
Where nothing makes sense
Nothing
anymore.
makes sense.
Yeah.
anymore. Right.
Right,
So
keep
this
going.
question I feel like is harder today than it was a couple years ago even.
It's harder than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was blessed by God himself.
Wow.
I think he's a him.
Oh, okay.
I was blessed by God
Folks, you heard it
himself
here first.
to be doing this show on this particular day, which is the
Valentine's
actual
Day.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were waiting for us to say it with you.
No,
You're like, and
I was
like,
going to
oh,
say the actual
Valentine's
holiday.
Day.
The actual holiday called
Valentine's Day.
Yes. So it is currently, as we're recording this, it is Valentine's
February
Day.
14th. Valentine's
February
February
14th.
14th.
which I think is like sort of the beginning of force-fed straight culture.
Yes.
When you're a kid,
Yeah.
It really is.
it's like real life straight in your face. It's not like a movie where there's like a princess and a prince or whatever. It's like write a love note to the boy over there.
They're
Girl,
like couple
write-
up.
Yes.
Now.
Yes. Who do you love? Girl?
Yeah.
Which boy do you love?
Yeah.
Boy? Which girl do you love? Ask them to be your wife. do
Tell
it
them
in front
you
of
love
do it in
them.
front of the class.
But also, it's like, it's a numbers game, right? One to everyone. Do
Yeah.
you remember like how you would write Valentine's Day cards for every girl?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I went to, yeah. I feel like mine was like gender neutral, roughly, where you write
Oh.
them. It was just like to everyone in the class.
I get, yeah, but would you actually write a Valentine's Day to another boy? A Valentine's
Well,
card to
this
another
is.
boy?
I mean, a girl would to a
think.
girl. I think.
Oh, sure.
No, but that's different.
I mean, 'cause
would a boy
girls
write one
are lesbians.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was like, you would get like boy cards. Like they would almost be like,
Yeah.
like a little baseball player.
yeah. And you'd be
Yeah.
like, catch this ball.
Catch my
Jeff.
ball. Catch my ball.
Catch my ball, Jeff.
Please. I beg you. I'm so
And then Jeff
lonely.
has a sexual awakening.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
"Fuck,
like,
Oh,
holy
actually,
shit.
I'd
I
love
do want to
his
catch your ball.
But yeah, I just there. There's the things in elementary school. This is the most like force fed. A teacher makes you do it. Your parents
Yes.
make you do it.
All these people, by the way, who don't encourage over sexualization in
Right,
other areas
right,
of your life.
right.
Like it's like they don't let you watch R-rated movies. They don't quite tell you where babies come
Right.
from. Like they're not at all encouraging you to be a sexual being.
Right.
But then this one day comes and it's like the purge, but for being like
maybe-
straight and sexual.
Yes, straight and sexual. Every holiday is this though. Every
And it's
holiday
like,
is
and then they like make their son do Valentine's, and then he's like, "Wait, why?" And they're like, "What are you?"
Exactly. It's like every holiday makes somebody makes your parent do something like lie to you
Yes.
Yeah.
about Santa Claus or whatever it is.
Totally.
It's like, well, that's just what God himself told us to do. So we have to do it.
You can even like not be religious. Suddenly it's Christmas, and they're like, "Thank God Christ was born."
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I just I don't know when. How do you guys feel about Valentine's Day as adults?
Right. This is where it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just domed you again.
No, because I was just about to ask you, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate being Dom.
Yeah.
But I do want I like the idea that the thing for Christmas, the thing is religion. For what are the other holidays?
like
April
Thanksgiving.
Fools. Suddenly everyone's a trickster.
Right?
And for
Thanksgiving,
Valentine's Day,
everybody loves America.
Yes,
or
exactly.
something.
Yes.
Or doesn't, but
and
it's
family.
confusing.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, everyone is like, even if you hate your family, Thanksgiving comes and you're like,
Yes.
we're a family.
Yes, I guess 4th of
Yeah,
July.
4th of July, everyone loves America.
Yeah, but also kind of Thanksgiving.
Kind of Thanksgiving.
There's a little bit of like,
Thanksgiving. It's like we did it.
yes, we
It's
did
like, look how-
something good.
look how-
Yeah. Okay.
But Valentine's Day, the thing is everyone loves heterosexuality.
Yes, totally.
I guess in theory, like I'm at a state in my life where I'm like, any holiday, I'm like, good.
Right.
Like I think
Oh,
the
that's
more
nice.
time we have time to check in and
Wait,
be
that's
like,
nice. I'm the opposite. I like
Really?
that better.
What's
I'm
yours?
like, don't tell me what to fucking do. I think that's it. I'm like, don't tell me when to kiss someone. Don't tell me
Yeah.
when to like love my family. I think that's where I'm
Sure.
like, I make my own rules, but it's kind of nicer. I like this is better. I
And
can
maybe
just
you're better
change.
at it. Maybe
I can just
I'm,
change.
the guy in the rom-com who's the sequel and the naming, and I'm stuck in the room and I'm like, don't talk to me when I'm naming my things.
Right. No, you're
and,
not.
And so then on Valentine's Day, I'm like, what have I been doing?
Right.
I've been so obsessed with naming things. I forgot you're right
Yeah,
here the whole
right,
time.
Right.
Well, I do think there's a way in which hating Valentine's Day almost became equally straight. It became like this cliche
Yes.
of like people being like, people that in no other context would even use the term capitalist suddenly being like, oh, it's a capitalist holiday that
totally.
tries to sell us capitalist love. And you're like, okay,
Ooh,
like
yeah.
relax.
Yeah,
like
totally.
you are just like a normal girl.
Right.
Suddenly you're like Noam Chomsky all of a sudden.
I feel like my mom may have said that sentence.
Suddenly you're Noam Chomsky all of a sudden.
Maybe.
No, but it is true that it's almost in a weird way, quote unquote, basic girl
Right,
to hate Valentine's Day, despite the fact that same girl. And sorry to, the only reason I'm saying girl is because boys are like too dumb to even have an
They're
opinion.
like, what day
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like that same girl is definitely interested in having a beautiful wedding, is
Right,
definitely
right.
like interested in having a great boyfriend or husband, but then
Right.
suddenly on Valentine's Day, she's literally like, wearing a sort of
like a black.
like she's wearing all
Black
black
lipstick.
Yeah.
to protest
Yes.
capitalism.
Right. You have to like go through if you're just like a normal girl.
Yeah.
You have to go through your like, I hate Valentine's
Exactly.
Day
Yeah,
phase.
yeah.
Which is why I think I'm like interested in what Sam is saying about liking Valentine's Day, because it's like, well, maybe the straight thing is to have so much power over
Yeah.
you that you're reactionary against it, and then the normal thing is to just
Right.
Let it
Like,
wash
enjoy
over you.
Valentine's
It's,
Day.
it's sort of,
Yeah, and mostly it's like if you're normal about anything, I think it's good. Like,
yeah.
That's how I feel about Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Don't hate it, don't love it. Is that what
no,
you mean?
I like it,
Yeah.
and I don't associate it with anything actually substantial
Yes.
or rooted in reality.
Totally.
It's not about religion. It's not about family. It's not about anything. It's just like, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun.
Totally. It's so much better to just
Yeah.
feel that way.
And especially when I think I would hate it if it was like, if I'm not getting a fucking
Yeah.
like present today,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking scream.
If I'm not getting a fucking fuck today.
If I'm not getting my once a year fuck today,
Yeah, exactly.
I've been waiting all fucking year for my fuck.
For my one fuck. And if I don't get it,
I'm gonna fucking scream.
that's the girl in the naming rom-com.
yes.
It's like, if I don't get my one fuck today, and by the way, it's called No Fucks Given.
Oh,
And the naming specialist thought of that title.
Yes, it did.
That's
How
good.
at the end he thinks of the title of the movie he's
And it
in.
comes
It's kind
back.
of being John Malkovich.
God,
it's
actually
very
brilliant.
avant-garde.
It's actually brilliant.
Wow.
This is a good movie.
Wow.
It's a good movie.
And then the credits are at the end of the movie.
Okay. Actually, the name of the movie as you go into the movie is not
that. Yeah.
It gets renamed.
Do you know
by
what it
the end.
is?
What?
It's insert name here. It's insert title here. That's what the movie is called because it's also
And
a
it makes
commentary
sense.
on him being a
Exactly.
name.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I would love that.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Who's this starring?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Not Zoe Deutsch.
Let's start there.
First and foremost,
She's cut. Chopped.
okay.
It's cut. I have to say, D'Arcy, I'm afraid to say names of celebrities with you because you have worked with so many of them.
Oh, that's a good point.
Have you
Like
worked with
Zoe's
Zoe
lovely.
Deutsch? Okay. So, and I have nothing.
No, you're saying maybe like
Okay.
a Zoe.
Okay, first of all, Zoe's lovely. Rule of culture number 1.
Everybody knows this. Rule of
We
culture.
love Zoe on this podcast.
We love Zoe.
We
Okay.
always love Zoe.
All right, so Zoe is yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what actress/actor could this be? I mean,
You know what?
yeah.
Penn Badgley just popped into my mind.
Penn Badgley as the naming specialist could be really
He
big.
needs a use finishing up. He might need a new
Yes,
project.
I agree. All right, Penn Badgley.
And I actually do want Sydney Sweeney to like keep being rom-commy but get better at it.
I just kind of kicked George.
You think you guys
are
are
kicking me? You're like, what the fuck is he
like-
talking about? Hello.
you guys are mad at me for this one.
No.
I
You're
love Sydney
screaming.
Sweeney, but I unfortunately, as someone who has seen her rom-com, that's not her strong suit.
That's true. I haven't seen the rom-com.
I haven't either, but maybe she, give her more reps.
I just want her to get some more reps.
Yeah.
It's like me with Hollywood Handbook. Like
Yeah.
it's just one
She
more
would-
go.
she need the
I
next,
see.
Yeah. The 90s rom-com girls got so many reps. They got so many reps. You didn't get
Every
one
rom-com actress says, "Get your reps in."
Get your reps in.
Can I say someone who I think is one of the most brilliant comedic actresses of her generation that hasn't gotten her
so
due?
excited to wait.
I'm so
so
scared.
excited.
Jane from Happy Endings.
Jane from Happy Endings.
Did you ever watch Happy
Yes.
Endings?
Wait,
so
She's
is
the
this
one who's
Alicia or
Wait.
Eliza.
Eliza.
Let me get a face.
So there's Eliza. I feel like there's two Elizas.
You're correct. Not the one that was in The Girl Next Door.
Okay, so Eliza Coop.
oh,
Yes.
She
yeah.
is so
She is one of the funniest
funny.
women people
Yes,
alive.
She is so funny.
She's like born to do television
I
comedy.
agree.
So I'm thinking it's her.
This
First of all,
is a film.
I know.
so it's her, and I think her and Penn could work. And
Yeah.
I also like that she's maybe a little older than him. That could, but that's not addressed because
That's
we're
not
not
right.
because that would be condescending to
Right.
the audience.
Right,
Like it's
right.
not about that.
It's not about- it's not
like
like a
empowering that she's
yeah,
older.
yeah.
She's just a normal girl.
Yeah.
And he's a normal guy.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green
okay.
light.
Green light.
Okay.
She is really funny.
She's so funny.
yeah.
You like pretty much discovered her.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
put her on the map.
I put her
God.
on the map.
Happy Endings. Alicia Cuthbert.
Alicia Cuthbert is the other one.
She's also great.
She's also great, and
Not
she.
to mention Casey Wilson, who we know and love.
Of
Well,
course.
I mean,
Duh. That's a duh. That's like
Casey Wilson. First of all, should be president.
Yes.
I've not even. She doesn't have time to do this rom com because she literally has to be in the
Exactly.
administration in the White House.
Speaking of going back to audiobooks, I would highly recommend her audiobook of her.
She is-
She's when they're doing their own audiobook.
Yeah.
Martin Short.
Oh, that's fun.
It's really fun to listen to them tell their own story.
That's
I just am filled with love. I'm literally filled with happiness that Casey Wilson is out there.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
that's nice.
God, me too.
Can you imagine the world if she wasn't?
You should have her on this pod. Have you guys have you met and loved?
I have never
I've
met
never
her.
met.
The best.
And one time, I asked someone. I can't remember if it was like. I was like, oh, I would love to do bitch. It wasn't her.
Yeah.
This is not her fault that I haven't done it. But it was like someone that either reps someone involved or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I would love to do bitch sesh. And then the person's response was like, to do that podcast, you really have to be up to date on the Bravo show. It was like you can't just sort of go there and like be funny.
And are you not?
No.
Okay, so they knew that about you. They knew that about you. Okay. That's such a funny thing.
But
to
I was
just
like, okay,
warning,
and I was like, I
warning.
get it. I get
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I would never
Yeah.
disrespect Casey by going on
To
it.
be caught up with all of them.
It's a lot.
So much
Yeah,
work.
It's a lot of reading.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, I was like, you know what? I respect it.
Yeah.
I actually would love for you to go on unprepared
Yes.
and have her fucking scream at you.
I would
Me
love
too.
it. And it's like secretly she's been a huge cunty go girl this
Go
whole
girl.
time.
Yes, totally. It would be so funny if like 15 minutes into the pod, you just see like their eyes go dead.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, you didn't catch up. Don't act like you caught up when you didn't fucking catch up.
She
This is
literally
a
like
serious
drops
fucking
her
podcast.
drops her binder. She's like, "What the fuck? Who
Exactly.
is this guy?
Who is this? Who
They're
did
always
this?
bringing some fucking gay guy. I told them no more gay guys.
Being gay isn't a good enough credit. You have to
Everybody
do
is
the
gay.
reading. Have you heard? Have you seen the news?
Trad wives are doing poppers.
Literally, trad wives are doing poppers.
Something like trad wife is hard for me because it's traditional wife, right?
Yes.
That type of shit is hard for me. Like, why isn't it trad wife? We don't say
Oh, you mean pronunciation? I thought you were
Wait,
going to
wait,
make
wait.
some argument about where we are as a culture. You're like, why
it's
is it
a
pronounced?
little bit like,
Say this again.
okay, so like
But
trad. We don't say trad.
Oh,
We
I
don't
get
say
it.
traditional.
Trud
You don't
wife.
say traditional.
Yeah. So you don't say traditional. You
Yeah.
say traditional. So then would it be a trud wife? But I know it's
Trud wife.
TRAD.
Yeah.
Like these type of things, I think also, what about like Beyonce when they say like bae?
I
That's
completely
tricky for
agree.
me.
I don't like
That's
when they say
tricky
bae. I
for
really
me.
don't like when they say bae. And it always sounds forced.
Right.
It's always like the host of E! News, like Entertainment
Right,
Tonight,
right.
being
Like
like
reading it on a-
bae.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
shut
it's
up.
like, but it's like BEY.
Yeah.
I get that that's bae, but
Right.
it's also Beyonce. It's
Yeah.
also like, okay, like Mary. If I
Mm.
wanted to call my friend Mary Mare, am I spelling it MAR or MARE?
I'm putting an E on there.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's Mar.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Mar.
Things are really tricky and hard.
This is a really tough
Things are
time.
really
This
tricky
is a
and
really
hard.
tough
And
time.
this is, yeah, I know. George is going inward.
What are you thinking? George, you're
Don't
scaring
put me on the spot.
Okay.
What, you're scaring us. George.
George, don't
George.
don't go inside there.
George, no.
You're doing
Don't
Hollywood
go. What do you?
And I also,
Yes.
I'm willing to be wrong on that. Like, I don't know if
On trad.
on
Sorry.
trad, on
trad,
bae,
on bae.
on
No.
mare. I'm just,
Right, right.
and I'm also willing to be a hypocrite. I might do it all the time, but it's just trad is really trad. Trad do be tradding.
Rad.
Trud.
Trud.
Trud
I
wife.
mean, trud is like
Trud wife.
trud
Be a
wife.
cunty go
Trud
girl.
wife.
Trud. Well, the thing is, trad.
Okay, we're actually now like fully post language.
This I love. Trad
We're
wife,
just grunting.
trad wife. They do it because it sounds more glamorous.
Yeah.
Trud wife sounds like truck.
It's bad.
Yeah.
You're like trudging through the
Yeah, it's
mud.
mud.
Trud
Yeah.
wife is the
Mud.
drumpf of trad wife. It's like in order to have to like eliminate their power, we have to
Yeah.
start calling them trud,
Trud wives. Yes, totally,
Trud
totally.
wives.
But I also trad wife is one of those things that I have just never believed in as a concept or as a trend.
Yeah.
And I will not be gaslit into thinking this is like some cultural force I have to
Right.
reckon with.
Right.
Like this is literally like 5 people on TikTok and it's like an easy thing to write about and to
Yeah.
write trend pieces
probably
about.
right.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
like
he's wrong.
I know.
You think I'm wrong?
I know.
You're wrong.
I know. I switched. You're probably right. I was going to say you're probably right. And
Darcy,
yet,
you stand for nothing.
I know.
George, I just want to say that, like, I was once in the New York bubble, and like, I know how that feels,
Yes.
and like, you really do think.
So you're saying in LA there are trud
Not
wives?
necessarily
not
LA.
like in LA, but in LA, there's
just
like
outside.
just outside, and I
Yeah.
think they're really sympathetic to them.
Yes.
And I think it's like it is a bigger culture than we know.
I think exactly right.
Because to me, it's just like
5 girls on TikTok.
context creators.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
right. And I think it probably I guess what I was going to say when you went, I flip flopped, but it was I was
You're
Well, you
regular
can't-
John Kerry.
Yeah, you can't run for
but
office now.
I was going to go on to say I think you're right, and yet I
Yeah.
think there's so much of the country that we are blind to.
Yeah.
and have no understanding of,
Yeah.
and it bit us in the ass once, and it bit us in the ass again, and it might again, and it might
keep going.
Again.
It might keep
bite.
going.
Again, you said it right. Yeah.
It bit us once, it bit us again.
Okay. Damn. I mean, listen, maybe you're right.
Well, I don't want.
But I
don't
guess
wanna be
here's,
right.
I guess
I
here's
don't
my
wanna be right.
question.
I'm not saying I
Did
like
that
it.
hate it.
the percentage of the population that is trud, did that already exist before we just had a term for it? Like there have always been
Well, the argument is like a Martha Stewart was like the type before, where it was like almost an aspirational, like she's making her own like table spreads,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you're supposed to like feel like you should want to do that.
And now, as you say that, I'm like, I don't even really know what a trud wife is. Is it like a Little House
You
on
wanna-
the Prairie wife, or is it like a '50s wife, or is it?
I mean, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, it's just like you want to please your husband and you don't necessarily need to have a job.
And you like fantasize about like living on the farm and making
Right.
everything from scratch and whatever.
Now, isn't Martha Stewart interesting?
Oh, let's start there.
Did you
Podcast
watch-
starts now.
Starts now. Did you watch the
Yeah, I watched it. Did you?
doco?
Of course not. God.
I think you should.
I'm not watching shit.
You're not watching shit. You're too busy.
I'm so busy doing the most important job in Hollywood. That's why the paparazzi are always outside my fucking office.
Snap, snap,
Whereas I'm
snap,
just
snap.
at home watching Martha Stewart documentaries left and right.
It just is. It's interesting because like on first glance or whatever, she's a trad wife, but she is.
No,
She doesn't give a shit
she
about
was a
any man
billionaire.
ever.
Yeah.
And she's a bazillionaire.
She's also a like literally head gaslighter in chief. Like the way she's just like, yeah, my husband was cheated on
No,
me, and then
I
the
saw- I
interviewer
did
was
see
like,
this clip.
did you cheat on him too? She's like, yeah, but I'm me.
I loved that. That was an interesting moment because it sort of showed that she sees the world the way she wants to see it.
Yeah.
It was a great.
It was an
a
incredible
great
moment. Yeah.
Because then as much as I'm like her going to jail through the dock, I'm like, fuck America. It's all, like Martha Stewart was wronged. But then I'm like, is that the documentary telling me that?
Well, the thing with super rich and successful people going to jail is that every time one does, it is to make an example out
Yeah.
of them. It's not like we live in a
Right.
world where everyone who commits financial crimes goes to jail.
Right.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
Right.
It's like most people who commit financial crimes don't go to jail, but then every now and then you make an example out of someone. I honestly think that's true of Elizabeth Holmes too,
Yeah.
who I do think should have obviously was guilty, but I
Right.
just mean like how many startup founders have defrauded investors and like not seeing
like part of the
consequences?
business.
That's part of
Right,
the business. And you literally
You're gonna make an
like
example of the
when you talk to
woman.
them, they're like, yeah, you just have to fail 15 times
Yeah.
and then you succeed once. And you're like, by fail, do you mean steal and accumulate wealth
Yeah.
despite never making anything?
Yeah.
Because you are absolutely killing it at that.
Yes,
Cunty
totally.
go girl.
Okay, so she's a cunty go girl.
But so it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's yes and.
So it's yes and.
Yeah.
So yes,
Can I
and.
tell you guys something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
When I first moved to New York, I did maybe 3 episodes of background work on a little show called Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I've heard of
Oh.
it. Do you have any
50th.
idea?
Thank you.
Do you have any idea what year we're on? I haven't read anything about it.
And there's a really famous Martha Stewart sketch where David Spade plays
Yes.
Martha Stewart.
Yes.
When I tell you, I'm all over that background, acting my ass off.
Oh.
It's
Really?
feel free to go back.
I will.
I'm really giving it my all.
Wasn't that sort of like one of the ones that was deemed? I think there was like a clip of that in the documentary. It was
Well,
like,
I kept kind of imagine. I kept looking for it.
Yeah.
I kept
Watching the
waiting.
documentary, like,
but
I guess
where am
I'm
I?
not
Where
in
am I?
this. I guess they cut my scene.
I thought they would have shown it.
yeah.
Oh,
Maybe they didn't get the rights.
I'm actually even remembering. This is so cute. My parents were visiting me in New York, and because Martha was all over the news and the frickin' rags, there was a picture of Martha Stewart on, I want to say like Life and Style or Us Magazine or something like that, and I was just front and center, right over her shoulder. I guess not front and center. I guess right and
yeah, you were
upper.
actually in the background.
Yeah, but so clear
Yeah.
that my mom bought like 10
I
copies.
love that.
That is
That's
so
so
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
Wow.
Background work.
I mean,
What a time.
what a time. It is funny. There was such an era when you're starting and you're like, I'm in the background.
I know.
I did it.
I know. And I was like,
I'm in the TV.
I was like, I'm using this to learn. Because I was kind of like, have you ever done background work?
I have.
Okay.
Oh, I
there's-
haven't.
There's a little bit of like, there's some, depending on how big the scene is or whatever, it can be a little bit of like mob, like you're kind of treated like cattle.
It's horrible.
And you're, and you might have the thought, one might have the thought, I had the thought of like, this is not me. I'm not like this. I'm doing this because I'm learning. I'm who's the grip, for example.
Yeah.
Who's the DP? Like I'm learning how to be on a set. This is not me. I'm not going to run to grab my lunch. I'm not going to, when they bring the lunch out, I'm not going to run and grab it. I'm going to get it later.
Yeah.
Like I had all these sort of rules. And then after the 3rd episode I did, every time they'd call me, I would be like, this is my moment. Like,
I'm going to get discovered.
I'm getting the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though I knew this isn't how you get on the show, I knew it. I was like, I know all this. And yet still you'd get the call and you'd be like, I'm going to spend Saturday on the stage.
Well, I have work Saturday night, actually.
Exactly. But then after, I think it was the third episode of that I did, I was like, I can never do this again.
Yeah, it's demoralizing.
It made me feel real bad.
Okay, wait.
Is that fucked up and elitist and
No.
privileged? Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, it's privileged maybe, but
Well, I don't think
but I
there's.
felt it at the time.
Yeah, no. It is inherently like.
Yeah.
There are jobs that make you feel bad, and there are jobs that make you feel good.
Yeah. Tricky.
and they also are cruel to background people.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Moo. That's how I felt.
Well, it's just like a weird thing. It's so funny for your quote unquote role in the product to be reflected in the outside world, because it's like then they'll yell cut. And it's like, oh, great, I'm now invisible again.
More invisible, yeah.
And you have to remind now that you're not a background actor, it's like you have to remind yourself, right, now we're not doing that. Now they're not meant to be silent. Like, I can actually talk to that person.
Yes, yeah.
But to be fair, every role is demoralizing, like, unless you're like the star.
Even that, though.
That's true, I've never had that.
Yeah.
And it's so like, you are like, it's just like the ranking. You're always in a ranking, and it's always like
you mean literally ranked like number one on the call sheet. I know it is. It is,
and
so
like
funny.
the things you get are better depending on how hot. It's like this is always. Can we just be normal? Can
this
everyone be
industry
normal?
is nut.
I have to say, I think everyone should be on a set as like a hazing ritual. Everyone in the world, I mean, should be like on a set as a hazing ritual, just to see like. Also, growing up and seeing, I've said this before, but like growing up and seeing celebrities, you're like, these are like spoiled, rich, whatever, which obviously they are. But then when you see what they have to go through, even just physically, like you're like, yeah, you deserve $1 billion.
It's humiliating.
That is really humiliating.
Yeah.
Well, I love this town.
I know. You've been here for a year, a little over.
1 year, a little over a year.
It took me one full year of being here before I liked it.
I met peace with it.
Okay.
I think you're
I
noticeably happier and
I'm happier than I was, but not happier than I was in New York.
Right. But New York will always be there, and you'll always go back.
Yeah, but you told me
secret. You told me.
We had a chat at some point, and it was very funny. You sort of were like, you were like, so, all right, when are you going to move to LA? And the implication was like, LA is real and New York is like what you do before
I do have a feeling that New York is like.
No, I know.
There's a fantasy, and there's like in LA, there's like a reality.
Totally. Do you want to die in New York?
Listen, do
you want to die tomorrow?
If it were up to me, then yes.
Okay.
I will come here for employment reasons, but I'm never gonna move here just to be like, all right, like let's
try it. Yeah, I get you.
If work dries up in New York, I'll get back to you.
I know. I lived in New York for 11 years, and go back all the time.
Yeah.
And anytime I can live there, like do something there to live there for a chunk of time, I'm always jumping at it, chomping at the bit, jumping at the jaw, I'm jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Me, cast me. Okay. And but it is easier to live here, but it is better to live there. It's easier to live here.
Yeah.
But it's better to live there.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I do feel like, unlike some people who live in New York, I at this point legitimately have roots. Matthew's from there. We live a 10-minute walk from our little niece.
Okay.
Like,
Docs her.
His parents live there. It just is like, yeah. Her address is, but which I do think complicates things. It's not like
totally.
New York is a fantasy, but I'm also living a very
this is your family,
embodied like reality where I am
his
walking
job
distance.
is also extremely New York based.
Yeah.
Matthew's job is New York based. At this point, I have jobs that are like it.
New York rocks, babe. I know also when you're there for years and years, you're kind of like, but it.
No, but it does.
No, it's heaven.
I actually don't think the magic has worn off. Dare I say it?
It is magic.
And magic. And the thing with it is that like the magic keeps being renewed. It's like some new thing will happen and you'll be like, I can't believe Nicole Scherzinger's on Broadway.
Yeah, totally.
God, New York is back.
I know. Well, some girl always walks into Times Square with a suitcase, looking up at the stars.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Every day somebody walks in with a suitcase going like, it's all starting for me. And so the energy is always like electric.
Yeah. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I want to bring it back to Valentine's Day. What time are we at? Oh my gosh!
I want to talk for 3 more hours.
Well, yeah, I could talk literally forever.
Yeah, this is the best idea.
But yeah, so it is Valentine's Day. Do you do anything? Are you doing anything?
I don't do. Jason and I don't typically do anything. We're not, and this is part of it. We're like not. We're both a little bit like, you don't tell us when to fuck. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's fine.
That's fine.
I didn't have to say that.
Sure.
I didn't have to say that. But you don't like. We're not going to like love each other. We're not going to go out to dinner. Whatever. We have never done a Valentine's Day thing. Not to dox, but I also have a niece or two.
Where does she live?
Okay,
Where do they live?
her dresses. So we are going to a friend's house who has 2 kids. My sister's who has 2 kids. We're going to friend's house for sort of like a little kid Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's
which is fun.
So you're sexualizing children.
Yes.
So you're
we're
grooming.
gonna say, who do you love?
There's 3 other children here. Pick one.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you a picture of 3 boys. Who are you gonna marry? No, we're just gonna like make Valentine's and cookies.
Marry, fuck, kill.
Yes, marry, fuck, kill these
To your
3 boys from your
4-year-old niece.
preschool.
Okay, bitch. Marry, fuck, kill.
Be ruthless.
Be ruthless.
Fuck, kill the other kids in your preschool. Yeah, so we're kind of like making cookies and
That's cute.
That's very sweet,
isn't it?
That's nice.
What about you? Whoa.
Well, George,
Well,
I'm actually so glad George is in town.
We're going to like a. Go ahead.
We're going to a party,
A big gay party,
a sort of club event,
like a
Like
club
a
event,
fun.
like club
Like
drugs.
getting-
I mean, not that we will partake in that,
Well,
but I
I
just
might.
mean,
You
we
might.
might. Who knows?
you
But I
were-
just mean like that
probably
type.
will.
Yeah.
wouldn't be illegal.
I'm coming up right now. By the way,
Well, oh right, I forget.
Would be illegal.
the point is we're going to a big gay party.
A big gay party where you dress up and stuff, kind of wear like hearts and Valentine's
more
things.
like dress down, if you know what I mean.
We're talking leather. Undies.
I'm so excited.
straps.
I think it's going to be such a fun party. So
How fun.
5 years
I'm
ago,
titillated as fuck.
come. It starts after you'll be done with your thing.
You show up, but like go overboard and are in like the most like sexual leather outfit.
You guys are in just like kind of cute clothes.
You have a strap on.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Saved
You like worship me.
Valentine's. Exactly.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
right before the pandemic,
Oh, yes.
all of our gay guy friends went to Webster Hall.
Oh, I was there, right?
You were there.
Yeah.
And I'll say it, we all did Molly, or
Fun.
many of us did. And it was so much fun.
I don't recognize
can't
the story.
imagine what those first few months. I can't imagine how many times you referenced that night in those first few months
Constantly.
of COVID.
Constantly.
There were
You were like,
various
we're never
things
gonna
like
It was like
that.
the last big night.
Yes.
And it was also like so telling everyone, like, I love you.
Was
I
it
love you.
so fun?
It was so much fun.
We also were at this point. It's like we were significantly younger. Like
I
we
know.
were.
5 years.
We were.
Sorry to
not,
say 5 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry to say 5
I'm the
years.
same age.
I know. We all are.
The thing
But
is, I'm not.
I
Like
know.
it's like
me
I
too,
really
actually.
have been feeling that I'm not.
Me too. Those 5 COVID-y years. I mean, whatever. Those 5 like COVID strike Trump years.
Yeah.
Like they do be aging.
They do
They
aging.
age.
Go girl.
Yeah, Cunty
Yeah.
Go Girl.
Yeah.
Cunty Go Girl's going a little less.
Yeah, going a little
Cunty
less.
go woman.
Yeah, exactly. But 5 years. 5 years are fucked. 5
Yeah.
years is so fucked because that is like that's half a decade. So you are.
It is 1/10 of how long SNL has been on the air.
When you put it like that,
it's-
it actually sounds so long.
Yes, it's 5 like the difference of 22 and 27, the difference of 30 and 35, the difference of all. I mean, it's always the
No, it
passage of
hurts,
time
it
for me.
hurts.
It's always the passage of time.
But I have a fantasy of this is this
Yes,
like
this is
that night.
Okay,
again.
then unfortunately it will not be.
Of course it won't be.
Already thinking that.
No, but it's like there's something so special about going out on
I know.
Valentine's and like eschewing the
Yes.
like
Yeah.
coupledom and being like, I'm going out with 1
With
million
my
gay
friends, yeah.
people.
Or is it? Well, tell me later. I want to know like where it is and what
Yeah.
things you're doing. Not that I'm going to go.
Well, you
With a big-
can.
with a
You're
big,
welcome to.
gigantic
Can I say something potentially
damning.
like risque? And,
course. You
and
can
if you
always-
guys are like gross, you can just point
it's-
a gun at me, pull the trigger.
Yeah,
to quote D'Arcy.
again, do you want to die in New York or LA?
Zoe Deutsch.
During this LA trip, I have felt uniquely
Unique?
asexual.
Well, welcome to LA.
Is that like there's some because usually
Yeah.
when I'm traveling, especially if I'm like alone in a hotel. Like you just there's
a little
an
bit of
eroticism
yes,
about
totally.
it.
Yeah, you want to be bad.
You want to be bad.
You want to put on look good for you, and you want to ride on your back.
Yes, exactly.
The way that I not at all.
Interesting.
And I went to the gym. I was in the locker room. I had many opportunities to feel horny.
A little.
It's like
Where are you in your cycle? It could just be.
That's a really good question.
That was awesome.
Isn't that so? How long have you been out here?
Like 4 days
Long
at this
enough
point.
to at least one night feel a little
literally.
warmed up.
I mean, hello,
George,
Yeah.
we're gonna get you tonight.
Tonight's happening.
We're gonna get you.
Yeah.
But George, I want to, did I tell you this?
What?
I've been hating LA. I've been trying to like it. I was reading Joan Didion to try to understand.
Great. Understand.
And there was an essay where she's like, it's like the 70s, and she's like, this is a sexless town.
Oh, really? I don't
Yeah,
know
and
that.
she's talking about like how it's a gambling town, and the thing about gambling places is there's no horniness because
Yeah.
all you're focused on is like more money, more money, more money.
Yeah.
And I do think it's
I
true.
think it is a sexless town.
Well,
It's a sexless
I mean,
town.
certainly New York is way
Sexy.
more sexual.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
God, LA is a sexless town.
it's a sexless town.
It is a sexless town.
It needs
Whoa.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It
I'm
just
needs someone
kind
to
of-
say have sex.
Yeah. I'm just sort of realizing it.
Yeah.
Every other city is not that.
Chicago, horny.
Horny.
Yeah.
New York,
And I
the
actually think
horniest.
that's why LA has so much dark
Yeah.
sexual. It's like,
Yeah.
because it's like when the
gotta do a
default
lot
is
to get your-
sexless, you have to become like perverse.
You have to be like a cannibal.
Essentially.
Yeah. For example.
For just one example, top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Okay, well, I hope that you get French tonight or whatever you're looking for.
I
No, I
We're
hope
gonna-
I
I think
get
we're-
fucked.
That's what I call fun.
George, I think we're gonna figure it out for
Yeah.
you.
Or
I
at least
really
have
think
some
we
fun
are.
little like
Have some fun.
zing zing feelings.
Yeah, no, I definitely
from
need
the
some zing zing.
1940s.
Oh, get him that zing
Get a little
zing.
zing zing.
It's gonna be
honey.
down with love.
Yes, exactly. Feel jazzy. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're gonna have
so that's
fun
what we're
tonight.
doing.
So,
So we're
I'm
do-
hanging out with 4-year-olds and you guys are
And we're going to a
Frenching
sex
in the
party.
bed.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a sex party.
It's not a sex party.
It's
no.
not a sex party, but it's a sexy party.
It's a sexy
Which is
party.
better.
And
Sex
we have
party-
been, I didn't send you this. It has been officially announced that at midnight they're playing Abracadabra.
Wait.
As if
that's
it's New
so
Year's.
fun. That's so fucking fun.
It's going to be. I'm really. I'm
want to
building
go.
up.
Just
come
come.
at midnight.
Bring
Come
the
at midnight. No, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Meet you at Webster Hall. Just kidding. I know we're not in New York.
I wish. Should we do our final seg?
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to.
No, we have to.
And for the record, I was an understudy in an off-Broadway show that performed at Webster Hall.
Oh,
And I went on one time.
when was this?
And when
Okay, D'Arcy,
I wasn't,
you've done Broadway.
Okay, that's true, but this is a long
Enough
time ago.
with this underdog narrative.
But it was pretty underdoggy because when I wasn't going on, which I did one time, I was in fact selling merch.
Oh, that's tough.
That
That's
is
tough.
tough.
How dare they?
Yeah.
No, being an understudy, much like doing background, actually, it's worse than doing background work because the work you have to
Because you have
fit
to put in
into
so
it.
much work. It's so much work, especially an understudy that has to understudy many roles. That's nuts.
What play was it, if
crazy.
you don't mind
It was
me
called The Awesome 80s Prom. Barely a play, more of an experience.
Sure.
That is
It
such
was-
an
was
iconic
it a
title.
jukebox musical or something?
It was, yeah, I guess so. But it was along the lines of like a Tony and Tina's wedding.
Okay.
It was like a very bachelorette party heavy, like girls' night.
Got it,
interacting
got
with
it.
audience.
That's fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
this is just me wanting to hang out with you guys longer. I'm like, what else? Webster
No,
Hall.
I know.
Saw a
I could go
concert there one
forever.
time. My mom and I saw The Bourne Identity around the corner, and I used to get sushi down the street. And
I mean, the thing is, we're not an interview podcast, but I'm like, I want to ask you
No,
for
there's so
tea
many things I
about
want
all
to
your.
ask, but I like don't feel like it's like
we can't. It's not
like
it's
our
not what people
vibe.
pay us. What
To
people
do.
pay us to do.
you can ask me anything, but I don't want you to not do your thing. But also,
I'm like,
no, we
what?
did it. We can't. We have to have you back.
I mean, I do want to know
can ask
about
us-
your experience doing Broadway. I do want to know.
There's like a lot about your New York experience. I'm curious about.
Yeah, I agree. You've sort of done it all. You're like kind of that girl who's done it all.
Contigo?
Contigo girl.
You're sort of cunty go girl.
Yeah, you are
in a
actually
way.
Contigo girl.
Do you know what was announced today?
What?
I'm on The Handmaid's Tale this season.
No. D'Arcy.
Isn't that fun?
That's what you're here to promote?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm so excited for you.
Just speaking of cunty go girl and,
Yeah.
and, just
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. I literally would die for Elizabeth Moss. I'm all in.
Yeah.
However, something came up on my feed that was like this very serious graphic, and it was The Handmaid's Tale X Christian Siriano. And I was like, that is so funny. And then he did a collab with The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Are you part of that? Okay.
And I'm just sitting here smiling.
Wow.
Does your role have any sort of comedic?
Is it serious?
It's so serious, but I think that I was cast with the intent of sort of being
And
funny.
you were like, no, bitch.
And then I was just like, I cannot be like, they were
kinda
kind of
tough
like, keep it light.
material.
And I was like, I can't.
It would be so amazing if you just went full like Hamlet.
Yes,
like
totally.
you were like, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
okay.
So that happened.
I'm staying on my red hood.
Okay, but anyway, I just had to sort of,
Yeah, no,
I just
that's
had to
amazing.
sort of announce that.
And hopefully that the news already broke. Well, I was hoping we'd break the news.
Well,
No,
we
we're
could
breaking
break
it. I
in a
hadn't seen
different-
it.
Yeah.
We're breaking it.
Did you guys see it? Did we break it to you?
Okay, now you're being
I'm so sorry.
actress.
I'm so
Is everyone
sorry.
here seeing that I was
No,
announcing?
I guess I'm like, we're breaking the news to the room.
That's
I'm
true.
so
That's
sorry.
true. No,
Did you
it's
guys see it? Did you guys
genius.
follow me? No, I didn't post it.
You guys should follow D'Arcy. You do amazing work on Instagram.
Yeah, so much good
Throwback
context.
to when someone who shall not be named
Sorry.
met me, clearly not who I was, and he goes, I love your stuff on Instagram. So our final segment.
And do you bleep that out or do you keep that in?
Well, no, I'll bleep it out.
Okay.
I'll bleep it out.
No, but that is so
It's
correct.
so him.
Damn, number one villain in Hollywood. Actually,
Literally
be.
the gossip I have heard.
I'm telling you,
Number one villain in Hollywood.
From the tops to the bottoms. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, RuPaul.
Yeah. And let's just say that if he embraced either being a top or a bottom, he might be able to move on.
Oh wow!
Interesting.
I'm so glad we're doing a blind item.
No, I know. And we're bleeping it, but then
keeping
keeping
it
it.
blind.
Keeping
It's gonna be bleeped.
Keep it
It's
bleeped.
going to be
Biggest
bleeped.
villain in Hollywood.
Biggest villain
Confirmed.
in Hollywood.
Yes.
Confirmed. Okay.
And there's a lot of villains.
And there's a lot of villains.
Mostly villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our final segment.
Okay.
Unfortunately, D'Arcy, our final segment is called Shoutouts, and in this segment,
Yeah,
we pay
go ahead.
homage to the Grand Street tradition of the radio shoutout, shouting out to anything that we enjoy. People, places, things, ideas. We make them up on the spot,
Literally didn't think about
and
this.
it's cash.
No, we have to make it up on the spot.
And actually,
So you're doing well.
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
right, it's right.
I actually do have one.
Okay, go.
What's up, freaks, losers, and perverts around the globe? You know, as we talk about the 5 years that we've been through, it's affected all of us. And I'll say it, I've been having back pain over the last few months, in and out, back pain. I'm stretching, it's not working. I lay flat, it's not working. What the hell? Recently, someone was like, well, do you just take an Advil? And I was like, but I don't do that. And they were like, just take an Advil. And I was like, okay, fine. I took an Advil. Guess what? It's fixed. I feel completely fine. I guess I just needed my muscles to relax for 1 fucking second and everything can realign and get back to normal. I've never felt more limber in my life. All I needed was 1 damn Advil. I've been hurting for months and I just took a damn Advil and I'm fine. I'm ready to go out and go fucking crazy.
Caller calling in.
Yes, caller.
Hey, first time caller, I have a question.
Okay.
When you say take an Advil, do you mean 1 Advil?
No, you got to do
Or do
two.
you do
two extra
3?
strength. Oh, 3.
I do 1 Advil in the morning and I did 1 Advil at night.
Psycho.
Wait, that's insane.
You can
Sorry.
do up to 3.
But I don't want to do up to 3 because
To me, 1 is like the
One
equivalent
is-
of like snorting,
Yeah.
snorting like 1 speck of dust.
Yeah, did you snort 1 speck of dust and feel better?
Dumbass. Snort 1 speck of dust.
I did 1 Advil in the morning and 1 Advil at night and I feel amazing.
Okay, well, if history has taught you anything, you should know that it is helping you, and therefore you should take the recommended dosage, which is 2.
This is, you guys are doing like Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine. But in shout out form.
Okay, thanks for having me. I love the show. Bye.
Ciao, bye. So 1 Advil is the correct amount. XOXO,
Shit.
Sam.
I'm calling in again.
The lines are closed.
What's up, freaks and losers? I want to give a shout out to an episode of Modern Family that I recently watched where the plot was that all the women in the Dunphy family cycles got synced. So all 3 of them have their period at the same time. On the day that they want to do a, get this, family trapeze class for Leap Day. I repeat, the plot is that the cycles of the 3 women are synced and it ruins the family trapeze Leap Day class.
What?
And I just want to say, why don't we have hijinks like that on television anymore?
Why don't we have hijinks like that on television anymore?
Hello, someone like that is what a writer's room is for.
Yes.
Someone suggests, what if their periods got synced? And then someone says, that's not big enough. We gotta go more. It's gotta be leap day, trapeze class.
Somebody said trapeze class. I've never said trapeze like that. Trapeze class.
Trapeze.
Trad
Trad.
I've never said trapeze
Yeah.
class. And then some other person in the back corner said,
Yes.
what if it's leap day?
Yeah, leap day. And okay, here's a question for you. Do you think the cycles being synced was suggested by
A man.
Yeah. Or was it a woman that's like, how funny would this be?
Yeah.
It's like,
Or
this
if it's-
happened in my family or whatever.
Or maybe it was like the one woman in a all male writers.
writers,
yeah.
It's like, she's kind of like, I'll be like fucking.
I'm a guy's gal?
Yes, exactly.
Guys, gal.
Women in their periods, right? I'll say it. Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, she said it.
Yeah. Did you need to end it or did we?
No,
end
that's
for you?
it.
Okay, great.
I guess just a general shout out to hijinks.
Also,
We're doing a deconstructed version.
Yeah.
I laugh when I watch that show for sure.
It is. I said this the other day publicly. I don't know if you saw. I did see that it was announced that you were on Handmaid's Tale, but I actually also announced that I believe Cam on that show is the best comedic television performance.
Yeah, he's
so
good.
Fucking
Other than
funny.
all of yours, of course. But I think, but of the 21st century,
Totally.
I'm like, this is. To actually pull this off,
Totally.
to be doing quote unquote a stereotypical gay guy and pull it off to such an extent that it actually is, I'm like, I know that man, and it's such a beautiful portrayal
Yes.
of that kind of gay
Yeah.
man.
No, it's genius.
It's so. I
genius.
think it's funny to call Modern Family like underrated because it's rated as hell.
Yes.
But like, I think because it became so popular, we now kind of
Yeah.
look at it like, but it is like chock full of genius performances. Ty Burrell,
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Sophia.
Sophia is one of the great comedic
Sophia?
talents.
That's true. That's
Literally,
true.
also because she's so beautiful, you kind of
Yes.
forget.
Yeah.
She is fucking
Phenomenal.
Like perfect on that show.
I had beef with that show for so long because it's the reason Jane Krakowski never won an Emmy. But guess what? That's not for me.
it isn't. It isn't.
It's like that doesn't mean it's not.
and it doesn't
good.
mean anything about Jane either.
No.
Of course.
Right. I mean, this is kind of fun. Okay, speaking of my hair looking good. Jesus
No, it's just like
Christ.
Jane Krakowski.
Talk about octopus.
Speaking of octopus, now that's octopus hair. Squirt. Ink.
Okay.
Okay. What's up, everybody? Hey, all you cannibals out there. It's me on the show. I'm D'Arcy.
That feeling when you forget the name of our show.
I was going to say TRL. I would like to give a huge shout out to the family that is housing my husband and I.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
And I'm literally being serious because it's so fucking nice of them. Can you imagine housing
Couldn't be me.
two full adults like they are in college? This is so nice of you. It's sort of like an unending, you'll just house us until we don't need to be housed anymore. This is the nicest thing you could possibly do. Thank you for feeding us. You make us chicken sometimes. It's so cute. It's always chicken. It's so cute. It's so healthy.
You're complaining about how it's always chicken.
No. I'm like,
a
just
salmon
a
would
lot
be
of
nice,
chicken,
but
just a lot of chicken.
no, I'm like,
Maybe a
it's
trout
always,
or-
you always feed us healthy meals. It's really, you every time we say thank you, you say stop thanking us. It is the nicest thing you could possibly do. You are the nicest people. I'm not going to dox your asses.
Are
But
they famous?
Yeah, they are.
No. I would say adjacent.
Oh.
I would say
Drag them.
adjacent. I would say adjacent.
It's giving grip.
Adjacent seagull.
It is. I'm still on the air.
Yes,
It's
yes.
You are doing the good Lord's work. He, him, God.
Yeah.
I love you
he,
so
him,
much,
yeah.
God. This is actually God. It actually comes back around to God. I love you, God. I'm giving God such a big shout out. I believe in
him.
you.
Yeah. Yes.
I totally get you. I'm like, magic is real, and I love you.
Woo, woo.
Stunning.
That was amazing.
Oh God, that felt great.
Yeah.
I really didn't think about it, and it shows.
But
No,
but
I'm
again,
not
you have to.
that's how it
apologizing.
You literally.
goes. That's how it goes.
No, you are not apologizing.
okay, great. I'm not apologizing.
You know what I
Did it
want to
right.
do right now? Imagine this: the three of us
Start over?
Press play on Bridget Jones' "Mad About the Boy."
We have
right now on
yes.
this big screen.
Yeah, wait, did I even say? Yeah, I did say what I had a full deep sadness. That was
Yeah,
my
yeah, I
feeling.
know, I
it was
know.
like a real. It was
No,
like
it's true.
worse than Trump getting elected. It was like we
Really?
are in a no, not really, but we are in, like it was like it hit me in a way where I was like we're in
know.
such a sad time.
That is a real bummer.
Yeah, and let's end on that note.
Yeah.
Everyone, we're sorry.
Thank you for having me. Sorry I was
You're hosting
knocking at
again?
your door.
Darcy, the podcast is over.
I know. It's all, we stopped. They're literally.
Okay. Oh, no, they're uploading it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
enjoy it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. How about this? Bye.
Bye.
No, wait. Thank you for doing the podcast.
What the hell? Okay, bye.
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 StraightioLab is a production by Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network and iHeart Podcasts.
Created and hosted by George Civeris and Sam Taggart.
Executive produced by Will Ferrell, Han Sani, and Olivia Aguilar.
Co-produced by Bei Wang.
Edited and engineered by Adam Avalos.
Artwork by Michael Fales and Matt Grubb.
Theme music by Ben Kling.